Hey guys, what is up? It is Bibs07 here again, and welcome to another RuneScape 3 vlog here today. In this video, I'm going to be talking about this week's update and patch notes, and I'm also going to be talking about the live stream Q&A thing that they did earlier today. That was the main reason why I waited on making this video, because I knew they were going to be doing a Q&A stream, and since we didn't have any info about future updates at the moment, I thought they would probably give some information, which they did, so I'll be going over that. And since it was a small patch week update this week, I didn't think it was super important to cover immediately, although there are some significant patches in here that are worth mentioning, so let's go ahead and jump into that. First thing, the headline of this update is the 20-year veteran cape, which is, I think it's available now. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there's a broadcast right there. You are able to get it now if you made your account in like February of 2022. So, or sorry, 2002, not 2022. That was when the game like was first made or whatever. So if you somehow have an account that old, you can pick up the 20-year veteran cape. And people are really divided on how it looks. I personally have thought all the veteran capes look terrible, but that's just my opinion. I've never been a fan of them, or I've never wanted to get them or wear them or anything like that. But yeah, you can go ahead and claim that if you would like. With I think you get them from Hans in Lumbridge, right? I'm pretty sure. But yeah, that was the main headline of the update, and then the rest of the stuff is in the patch notes. So we'll go into that now. Um, they made quite a few changes here, and there's no real reason for me being here at the Warforge. I just thought it would be a better place to stand than the PVM hub. I guess I can probably show the article. I don't know if, well, it's there's not a whole lot to see in the article anyway. Hold on though. Okay, you guys should be able to see the article now, but just so you can see that's what the 20-year veteran cape looks like. Apparently, they're considering changing it based on feedback, so we'll see if they actually do that or not. I'm not sure. I feel like they won't, but yeah, I guess some people really don't like it, but apparently opinions are divided. Anyway, the patch notes here, like I said, this is pretty much the main thing that I think is rather significant. They've made changes to quite a few of the binding contract familiars, based the ancient summoning familiars that were released with archaeology, and obviously the Ripper Demon has been the best familiar ever since that update. Of course, everybody uses that for DPS, but some of the other familiars did have some interesting effects, and I think a few of them were useful in some niche situations, but a lot of them have now been buffed to be quite strong as far as I can tell. So first of all, the Hellhound familiar was previously a 10% damage reduction. Basically, it would give you, like, it would take 10% of damage instead of giving it to you, which is a lot, honestly, 10%. And but it wasn't really enough to, beat out having like a beast of burden full of food in most situations. But now it gives a 20% damage reduction, which is really a lot. So I don't know if that's going to be used anywhere, but that sounds really strong, especially when you consider on top of Crypt Bloom, on top of Animate Dead, on top of your base protection prayers as they are. It seems pretty crazy. That's a lot of damage reduction, so we'll see if that ends up being useful. I don't know. The Blood Reaver has also been changed. It's got some weird, yeah. There's been some weird ways to use it with poison and stuff, but basically they've increased the damage that it does from your healing. The way the familiar works, which I've never used it, but I guess whatever you heal for, it does a certain amount of damage based on that. And again, I think it was used in niche situations before. I feel like it won't be used elsewhere still, but I don't know. Maybe it's stronger than I think. And then the Calgerian Demon, I don't think was used for anything except for like huge AoE, or was that a different familiar? I don't even know. I don't remember. But they've made it so that the scroll duration is now 60 seconds. Previously it was 15. And now the familiar, just when you have it out, gives 1% additional critical strike chance, which critical strike chance is very important, as we all know, for like the Fractured Staff of Armadale proc thing, the spec for that. So yeah, I'm not sure if this is going to be used, but as it says right here, it was only seeing usage when paired with the Fractured Staff of Armadale. This is only going to make it more useful in that scenario. But yeah, I don't even know what the scroll does. Let me actually look that up really quick on a different screen. Let's see, crit. It's called Crit iCal scroll. See if that finds it for me. It did not, but it did get me the familiar page. Crit iCal scroll will temporarily provide the player with a +5 critical strike buff. What does that mean? +5% critical strike chance buff or damage? Doesn't say. Just I assume it's crit strike chance. I don't know. But that I feel like that's going to be really, really strong because it also affects anyone around the familiar. So you only need like one of these in a group boss to get the effect. So yeah, that seems really strong. I don't know. I really don't. I'm not super in tune with the top end of the PVM meta. Like I mean I don't even have any of the good items. I mean on this account. I haven't played on this account in a while now. I mean sometimes I do an hour of PVM here and there, but I don't really do anything on this account. It just sits here forever or for whenever I want to practice a boss before going on my hardcore. Like I still use like my Staff of Sliske and Prasels as my main magic setup. So especially since Elder God Wars, I'm really not super in tune with the high end PVM meta as far as what's best and how much crit chance is really valued. So I mean, I'm interested to see how these changes work out, but it sounds pretty strong to me. The Hellhound sounds crazy for tanking, and then the Calgerian Demon for crit sounds really good. I don't know. So some potentially pretty impactful changes in these patch notes. I don't know about the Blood Reaver, as I said, but yeah, there's that. One thing I was surprised to see here in these patch notes is that you can now get the rewards from the Oasis Restoration event by skilling at Hetz Oasis. I was kind of surprised to see that. It's not something they've have a real precedent for. Usually if you miss out on getting the limited time event rewards, you don't tend to have a chance to get them unless that event recurs in some way later on in the year. But yeah, that is now available, so you can get those, and I think that's probably a good thing. To hopefully they continue doing that in the future. And is there anything else in here? There really wasn't a very long list of patch notes outside of that first one. So yeah, that's it basically for the patch notes. But yeah, again, I mean, it's cool to see that they're still considering these as potential things to update. But it also just goes to make you think. I mean, how so many familiars have just been super pointless for so long. It's interesting that they're focusing on the archaeology familiars to update, which I guess makes sense since they're the most recent ones introduced. But at the same time, you know, Steel Titan used to be king, and now it's completely useless because Ripper Demon is better, but it's at 3 levels lower, which is kind of weird. But I think for them to really do anything impactful to get any changes to summoning familiars, that would be super important. They would probably have to go for like a 120 summoning update, which I don't see happening anytime soon, really, given what they've said on the stream. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into that stream now, basically, speaking of that. So I will hide the window there, and I'm just going to talk basically off of what I remember. Because, I mean, I watched it I watched it live, and then I watched some parts over again to get a reminder. And there's some things I'm not going to talk about. I'm mainly going to focus on the content discussions, because they did a little bit of talking about these apparent false item reclaims that have been going on using the item reclaim system. People are like abusing it to say they got items which they didn't, and yeah, I don't have any thoughts on that. Obviously, it's terrible. Obviously, they need to fix it, but not much to talk about there. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into the content that they've talked about. They did give us quite a few things that are going to be coming in February here. They gave us quite a bit of information about that. Apparently there's going to be some sort of Slayer buffs coming this Monday on the 7th of February. I guess they're going to be adding in, I don't know if it's going to be like an event style, like winter weekend style thing where you just get passive bonuses permanently, or if it's actually going to be new content that's going to give additional buffs to Slayer. We'll have to wait and see. But apparently also going to be free death costs for this period as well, since they want to do more info on that. They also confirmed Double XP, which is going to be this month. I think they said starting on February 18th and going to the 28th, the 10-day thing as usual. Are they still going to call it Double XP Live? I will cry if they do because that is so stupid. But hopefully you've already prepared because I'm sure prices are already skyrocketing. Oh yeah, they also said that there's going to be a Valentine's Day event, which I was surprised to hear since they don't usually do those, but that's going to be there. And then the main thing for this month is going to be coming towards the end of the month, and I guess it's going to be a Slayer update of some sort. So they're going to have these Slayer buffs all leading up to this Slayer update at the end of the month. I guess there's going to be new Slayer monsters and stuff, so it should be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to trying it out and seeing, it's going to be cool to see what new monsters they add, what they drop, and all that. It's always nice, fun to have new Slayer monsters come in. I'm not expecting to be anything game changing, but we'll see. You never know. Lost Grove creatures brought in Cinderbane gloves or gauntlets or whatever, of course. So Slayer creatures can have very impactful drops. But other than that, they also confirmed several updates for much later in the year. So the main things that they talked about were this month specifically, and then quite a few months down the line. So the first thing they said is there's going to be a new Grandmaster quest this year to wrap up the current storyline surrounding the Elder Gods and their eggs. So I'm really looking forward to that. The last Grandmaster quest that came out was Sliske's Endgame, and that was in 2016, I think. So it has been quite a long time since our last Grandmaster, and I'm really looking forward to doing that day of release, making a guide, everything like that. So that should be pretty sweet. And it's important to note that they said that will wrap up the Elder God narrative, but they also said that there's going to be the 5th Elder God Wars boss coming later after the quest, and that's going to be at some point in the summer. Who knows when that is? Honestly, I'll be surprised if it comes out before like October, to be honest with you, given their, but I mean, they delivered well on Elder God Wars last year, so maybe they're on some sort of redemption arc. We'll have to wait and see if they follow through with these dates, or estimates at least. But in my opinion, if it doesn't come out before the end of September, it ain't coming out in the summer. So, we'll see what they actually end up doing there. But they say that 5th boss is actually going to be what kicks off the new storyline for whatever's coming after the Elder God Wars. So it's going to be interesting to see how they swing that lore-wise and presentation-wise, considering, the quest is going to be ending the storyline, and then somehow there's going to also be another boss that comes out after that. I don't really get it. But I'm sure they have some sort of plan to make it all make sense in the end. So I'm really looking forward to that. 5th boss, I hope it's really, really good and hard and, has some cool drops. I don't know. I mean, it's a tough example to follow up on. I mean, Nex, when it first came out, was insane. All 3 styles got a full new armor set, and it was like just a crazy difficult boss for the time. Then you have Telos, in my opinion, still easily the most well-designed boss in the entire game, and my favorite boss by far. Still nothing beats Telos in my opinion at all in terms of just it's just such an epic fight. I don't know. I love Telos. It's obviously my favorite boss. I mean, just look at my kill count on this account. Like Arch Glacior, of course, has the streak and enrage mechanic, but I just don't think the fight compares to Telos at all. Honestly, it's just not it's not as amazing. So they got some big shoes to fill with this 5th boss, but I am looking forward to trying it out and making videos on the release of that whenever that comes. Apparently in the summer. They also confirmed the beach is going to be coming back this year, so yay for that, I guess. But yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing that stood out to me that I remember them mentioning during the live stream was that someone asked them, because they said that the 5th boss is coming out in summer or whatever, and someone said that means that's going to be in development for 5 to 6 months. Isn't that a long time? Which I thought was kind of a ridiculous thing to say. I feel like 5 to 6 months for a full new boss is a pretty decent amount of time. Like I wouldn't expect it any faster than that. honestly, and I wouldn't be surprised if it took them longer than that. So yeah, that's just something that stood out to me. Like, do people really have that sort of expectation? Like, it should take like a month or two only of development to come out with a completely new boss. I mean, that just seems kind of ridiculous to me. But either way, um, what else was there? They talked about how the player avatar update or whatever, where they make us not look like actual crap, is not in the cards for right now. It's definitely not coming this year, so we'll see if they ever come back to that. But they're doing something else instead, kind of, which is making the shadows and stuff better. They said it's going to be first demonstrated with the update that's coming at the end of this month with the Slayer monsters. I think they called it like Point Light or something like that. And from the examples they showed, I mean, maybe I'm just an idiot, but I couldn't see a huge difference. Like, the shadows looked better and they were more realistic with the environment. But I guess it'll definitely be way easier to see when I can see it in game for myself. So that'll be cool to see what it's like on the actual update at the end of this month here. And one thing they mentioned, which I was pretty sad to hear, basically Group Iron Man was asked about, as it almost always is. And basically Mod Mike was on there, who's one of the higher ups. He's pretty high up, I think, in the hierarchy at Jagex there. Basically, if you watch what he said and listen to it and read between the lines, he basically said Group Iron Man ain't coming ever for RS3. So that kind of made me sad. I really wanted to see Group Iron Man come out. I thought that would have been really, really fun to do with my friends. But yeah, basically they said it's not coming out, and they might do some other things like, I don't know, seasonal high scores or something. I really don't care about any of that. I would love to see actual just boss kill count high scores. I don't understand how that's not really even out yet, but yeah, basically Group Iron Man ain't coming. So pretty sad for me. I don't know how many people, like, whenever it's brought up, there's always people chomping at the bit on either side of the fence saying it should come, it's so in demand and all that, and then there's people on the other side saying nobody wants it, nobody cares about it. I mean, I don't know. I just feel like it wouldn't. I mean, I have no idea how it works behind the scenes, but based on the way they did it in old school, it seems like it wouldn't be that hard to implement into RS3 because we have an already existing clan system. But again, what do I know? Not much. But again, it just makes me kind of sad to hear about that not basically never coming in at all. They also talked a little bit about platinum tokens or whatever, which are I don't think they're going to be doing it because basically they said the only reason they would want to add something like that is if they could be used as well on like a grand exchange, and apparently that's just an insane prospect to even consider. Just so technically challenging, it'll just never happen. So don't get your hopes up on that. Oh yeah, they also basically shot down a woodcutting and fletching rework pretty hard. Like, I really don't think they're going to be doing the woodcutting fletching rework. Mining and smithing rework, obviously, I thought was fantastic update and really just improved the skills a ton. But at the same time, not really new content, especially in the eyes of some less smart people out there. But yeah, they basically said they'd rather take the time to add new things to existing skills rather than reworking everything to do with a skill. They gave examples of things like construction contracts and I think like big game hunter for hunter, things like that. So maybe we'll see some similar effects to that in woodcutting. I think they should definitely add in new hatchets at least. They don't necessarily need to rework the entire skill, just to add in a couple new hatchets for the better metals of mining and smithing, as well as like a pickaxe of earth and song or mattock of time and space tier of hatchet. I think that would make sense as a partial update. I mean, that wouldn't be a super big effort, I don't think. So I hope they do that at some point. But yeah, they basically shot that down pretty hard, which I was surprised to see, honestly, because I thought they would want to do something like it eventually, but apparently not. That ain't gonna happen. So those are all of the main things I remember them talking about. I don't think there was anything else super important that I missed. Again, really looking forward to the new quest. Really looking forward to the the 5th Elder God Wars boss. Pretty hyped as well to see these new Slayer monsters at the end of the month. Let me know in the comments, guys, if I missed anything that you remember that you want me to comment on. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was mostly just me standing around and blabbing on forever, but I'll probably have a new Hardcore Iron Man episode for my main hardcore out probably this weekend at some point, because I've been making some good progress on there. And then I'll have another one for my backup hardcore as well fairly soon. Still working on both those accounts. Like I said, I basically don't play on this account at all. I just have it here to play new updates on for the most part, and to make money for my yearly membership. But yeah, again, let me know, you guys, in the comments what your thoughts are on all this, and I will see you in the next video. Peace out.